that thing again. Oh, yeah. What's that? Oh, what's that? Hey. Oh, so right out of the gate, I noticed that you're drinking beer tonight.
I am.
So that's weird. Why the change on episode 47? Is it is there something significant about tonight, or what's happening?
Well, it's Big Wave Golden Ale from the Kona Brewing Company.
Oh.
And had a bunch of their stuff when I was on my honeymoon. So, we can lead in with this. This is fun for everyone except, just for us, I should say.
Check it out. Mom Ice. Mom Ice, in case of emergency. Although, unfortunately, my mom is now in California, so if there is an emergency, she's not going to help much.
That's unfortunate. So I wanted to tell you, we didn't talk about this prior. Have you been into Stars Liquors in a while? Local liquor store?
No, I've not.
Close to us in Lakeville, Massachusetts?
I don't believe that I've been in there since they removed Baldy's.
They're doing a total remodel.
Well, that's
Brand
a good
new
thing.
Yeah, it's a dump.
Most everything had dust on it.
I can't get comfortable. Once again.
And you don't even have the wicker chair.
Oh, this sucks. I got no lumbar support. I might feel it tomorrow. Why am I holding a pillow? During this time of painful convalescence.
What are you doing? What are you doing with that pillow?
So, if people are unaware, I switched over to vodka for a long time. I'm still on the vodka. I was just like, let me try beer. I haven't had beer in months, so let me try it.
I love it. So you went with the Big Wave.
Big Wave, Golden Ale.
So, all right, this is an excellent segue to one of the things
Those are the only kind we have.
That's good point. So last episode we discussed, or I guess I discussed my...
You blabbed at me.
Right, I was like, this is stupid. The 4-pack and the... Actually, no, the 4-pack was a text that I sent to you. But last episode I was complaining because I bought another like $12.99 6-pack. Right?
You complained to me and Deto Nation.
To the world, essentially. So today I walked in and I got a Wachusett Mass Soul. And honestly, I grabbed this thing simply because of the marketing and the graphics. Why wouldn't you buy that?
It's a great.
I mean, I feel
it's
like
great graphics.
I feel like we've had this individual on the show, or if we haven't, we should find him and have him on the show. But it's just a regular IPA. But the fact that it looks like this, I don't know, got me hook, line, and sinker. What I really like, though,
I almost just spilled this,
is that when I got up to the register, it was $9.99 for 6-pack, which was nice because I was complaining to you over the week about the 4-pack situation. Hopefully the listeners are aware of the 4-pack epidemic that's happening within the craft beer market. Do you think they're aware of this?
Why don't you explain it? Because you did send me a text. I completely...
Blew it off.
No, when I say agree, I noticed the same thing a few years back. And then you did, a deep dive to figure out why some beer companies are giving you... It looks like the same price, but now you're getting... Because I know one of my favorite beers, Allagash, which is, I believe is out of Maine, Allagash White, comes in a 4-pack. But I never really thought much about it. But then after your text, I was thinking to myself, for the same price as your average 6-pack, and when I'm saying average, we're not talking about Bud Light or Coors Light or Miller Light or any of that shit.
Right.
All right? We do not encourage people to drink that stuff.
Well, hold on a minute.
Well,
hold on. I don't think we're going to go that far. We haven't discussed...
I am. I'm owning it.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Doesn't mean I'm right.
Okay, because you're not.
Let my
Listen, if
opinions
you're going
breathe.
for quantity, right? Corona's fine. There's
very
nothing
good.
wrong with the silver bullet either.
Ugh.
I understand. But when you're talking about quantity, it's a different game.
But why are we going for quantity?
Certain situations call for it.
Why not just switch to vodka? Have more tasty drinks.
No.
You love Captain. Why don't you
do.
switch to a Captain drink?
Because because certain situations call for excessive amount of...
Told the wife on the wedding day, no more Captain.
Listen, the people understand what I'm saying. Certain situations call for more consumption of beer. That just does. Sunday afternoon, during a Pats game, will generally call for more beer consumption than quality drink consumption in my house.
I appreciate
Whatever.
what you're saying. I get it. I think most people can understand. Personally now, 39 years old, I'll just alternate.
That's fine.
I'll mix a seltzer in.
That's great.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
wanna
you stash them around the house for those people that have listened in the past. You know that. I mean, there's one on the floor right now.
I don't know why you got to get after me about half-drank seltzer cans in my bathroom.
They're delicious. So anyway, I did do a little bit of a deep dive because I don't want to just.
That felt good.
Because I've been
getting,
it looked good.
It's been a year.
Sorry, Eric. I wanted to make sure that I did a little bit of research before just, coming on the show and just, bashing the industry for charging me $12.99 for a 6-pack when $12.99 gets me, a 12-pack and a couple nips, depending on what I purchase.
When? In the early 90s?
You know what I'm saying.
Who's nips?
Little fireball. What?
Oh, okay.
But anyway, it kind of makes sense, and I'm sure most people understood what the issue was before my deep dive. And it's just really about the ingredients and the costs related to these craft beer companies purchasing, high-quality hops and barley and things of that nature.
I believe the word you're searching for is these microbrews, these craft breweries, these little one-offs, little ma-pop. They're unregulated.
What?
They're passing along.
Well, I'm trying to regulate them just by my sheer anger.
Okay, continue.
So then I started looking at the 4-pack situation, and it's all related. So when the 6-pack cost $12.99 or whatever it costs, I saw some tonight when I purchased this beer that were $16.99 for a 12-pack.
I feel like that's good.
I'm sorry.
For a 12-pack?
Damn it, my numbers I'm not good in math. For a 6-pack.
Oh, well, what's the alcohol content? Because a lot of the beers coming out nowadays, they're pushing 10%. Some of like those.
So that's
12.
what this guy was saying on this website, homebrewacademy.com.
Definitely doesn't sound like a website for nerds.
No, but he was saying that the alcohol content will have will impact the price of the beer, which makes sense to me. Everything that I found made sense to me. I guess I just don't like paying that price for a 6-pack, and I don't like the fact that if I want 6 beers, you're only offering me 4. Sounds crazy. I don't know. And plus, when I start messing up the numbers, I lose my, credibility, which I already have.
So real quick, we're talking about beer. So we're going to take the first, we're only 8 minutes in.
Take the first caller.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, you're on the Detail Hotline.
Hey, you're on this podcast that I'm going to post in 2 weeks.
Hey, what's up, man? My name's Cletus.
So I got a text message from Ira the other day.
All right.
And he was listening in the car on the way to
well
work.
Documented that Ira loves listening to the podcast.
Big fan of the show. He's got a lot of criticisms.
He's got leg plants.
A lot of criticasms and cataclysms. He asked me if you had driven home at the end of the last episode. And I didn't quite understand the question.
So he's
because
concerned for my safety.
he is, but he was under the impression, and he's the only one, at least that we've talked to, that thought you were absolutely annihilated when you left by the end of that show.
Is it because I lost my shit and started laughing like crazy when I said...
No, because he was talking about at the end when you were talking... that you were slurring constantly.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
Was I slurring?
I'm not very articulate.
That's not true. In the office, you're known as the orator.
I believe that's part of my charm, is it not? I don't know. I come here and I'm really weird about the accent because you're all over me all the time about it. So I try to, I think that listeners recognize that I try to change it up a little bit when I'm here. I don't think the accent comes through on the show.
I disagree. Okay. Moving on. But I just thought that was interesting. Good.
Thanks for caring.
Right.
Ira. I appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Let's apologize to the listeners up front here. By up front, I mean at the 10-minute mark.
Okay. We're apologizing for the next 50 minutes.
What can I apologize for? This episode is going to be, and I think the next one too. I got a funny feeling the next one and this one are going to be the calm before the storm. Because And hang on a second. Excuse me, that's the big wave talking. Episode 50 is around the corner, and I feel like I've got my eye on that prize. And so I'm not really focused on the here and the now. I hate to admit that.
Okay.
But
So
I want to do right by
we're
our
on
audience.
episode 47.
47.
So you're looking at this show and the next two shows.
Well, this one maybe by 49 we'll be back hitting a stride. Be like, yeah, next episode.
what is our stride? That's what I think we need to figure out.
Well, when we hit it, we'll let you know. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Or I'll just say, hey, quick, Jim, it's happening
Yeah,
now.
a quick heads up would
Activate
be nice.
stride.
Activate the asset. Yeah, so episode 50, we're kind of spitballing some ideas for that, right?
Right.
Some things we may want to do. It's a pretty big accomplishment considering we, do this once a month.
Mm-hmm.
This month, this week, this weekend is Mother's Day.
Ugh.
I know this is a trigger weekend for you.
For those of us,
What?
I'm a mess tonight.
We should write stuff down.
For those of you who have no idea why Mother's Day may or may not be a bit of a trigger for me,
Please
go to the
back.
podcast. If you've got an iPhone, just go to the podcast app. If not, go to SoundCloud.
It's worth the 2 hours.
Go
believe me.
back 2 years and listen to the episode called Mother's Day. You'll get a little bit of insight as to why you may not want to listen to the show again, or you're hooked for life, right? It's either one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Mother's Day. What do you got planned?
So we have a lacrosse game. Which
That's
is
it. Perfect.
Right? So that kind of takes up a little bit of the day. And then I believe we're going to do some kind of nice little garden walk someplace in Dartmouth. We're going to...
Like someone's house? You're just going to hang out in their
yeah,
garden?
we're gonna roam around neighborhoods and look at nice gardens. No, we're not doing that. But there's some place with I don't know. I heard the word bridges and flowers and walk. So there's something like that in my future.
Who's doing this?
That'll be the family, the three of us.
When you say you heard the word, when you called to check
No,
in,
I didn't call anybody. This is what I was told that my wife wanted to do for the day. So after the game,
okay.
we'll...
This isn't a plan you made.
No.
What do you got planned?
Oh, we already did it.
It was last year.
Yeah, it was cool. I did some manly things around the yard today, and I said, hey, happy Mother's Day.
Today?
No, today, so we went out, me and the boy went out and
No, but today you did the Mother's Day stuff?
yeah, we
Okay.
gave her little presents. I mean, it's not a big to-do at our house. I'll make her breakfast on Sunday morning, and then
All right. It's
we'll
no
do,
Easter.
No, there's no ham dinner or anything like that. But we got so we got her a new little lunch box type thing that she brings to work because the old one's ratty and kind of torn and just didn't look nice. So we got her a pretty one.
Okay.
We got her a nice little scented candle.
Like the one I got going right now.
That's right.
It smells like sex.
And then Sex Panther. And then we put chocolate covered strawberries from Edible Arrangements inside the lunch bag.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's good.
Happy Mother's Day.
You gave that stuff today?
Yeah, we left it on the table. I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to... What am I going to do with the edible arrangement? What am I going to do with it? Can't keep it under the bed, right? Chocolate-covered strawberries. You know You know what those cats are going to do. They're going to dig into that
they're
box.
not gonna
if
eat
it's
them.
under
They're
the
gonna
bed.
piss
They're gonna
all
piss
over
all over them. Right. That's what they do.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I sent flowers to my mom.
I did that as well.
Hopefully she's not listening.
In fact, that's what was the mom ice call that I just received. I got a picture from her. Oh, in fact, why don't I show the people? Because we have that. We have that.
Sure. Right.
I'm sure everybody's interested.
I hope it's like a uncomfortable photo of your mom, like doesn't realize she's in the frame or something.
No. It's just it's 100 bloom,
Back it up just a little bit. Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I used the coupon code MAZ,
Common spelling.
common spelling, right? And I got that sent out. So that they're supposed to last 7 days. It looks like 2 or 3 of them are already dying. I don't know if that's a thing, but
Call him back. Tell him that Maz is full of shit. Maybe you can get your money back.
can I say squirt?
Maybe if you use coupon code
Felger.
you would have got a better deal.
You know what wouldn't work, though?
Don't even say it.
That guy's a douche.
Where's this picture?
Hey.
I can't see what you're doing.
All right.
Yeah, so I don't really have anything to report. I don't do anything special on shouldn't say don't do anything special, but without.
Are you gonna see D-Bone? What are you doing?
I don't know if the mom's coming down. The invite was extended, so we'll see.
For what? Come down, play a little like Xbox
Scrabble
or something?
Yeah.
All right. Did you offer to cook her a whole meal, whole plate of food?
No, probably take her out to lunch if she comes down.
Where would you take her?
Brunch. I don't know. Something is cooking with the in-laws. I don't know what that's gonna.
It's not a horrible idea to go to the tavern. I know it might sound crazy, but they do a nice brunch.
What?
I'm just saying.
I'm not going there on Mother's Day.
All right, whatever.
I mean, I enjoy the place, but I can't be caught dead in a place that you were almost physically removed from.
That's not true. It was a good night, though, right?
Too bad Ira wasn't out that night.
Yeah, he
I'm
could have
sorry,
drove me
Ira.
home.
Somebody should have.
No, you did. You did.
That's right, I did.
You did.
What? What do you got in that notebook over there? You emailed yourself some items. Let's get into what's been happening in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Listen, I've got 4 items on the notebook. We've hit 3 of them
Lightning
already.
round. Item 1, go.
We already hit it.
I will give you my ridiculous opinion and explain to you and the audience as to why I'm always right, even if it comes to matters of parenting. Go.
All right, so the last item, ironically, on our pad for the evening is...
Why are we going to the last one?
Listen, man, we've covered everything else.
All right, congratulations, Nick. This is going to be the first 19-minute episode of Don't Tell Our Wives.
This is what we do. It spends more... We spend more time setting up this goddamn lighting
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
than we do brainstorming for the show.
100%.
Listen, the people know that when we come in to the studio, we spend the first hour figuring out what the we're doing. Right?
Let's get to your intern idea after. So what's last on the notebook?
We do need an intern. We're going to be hiring an intern. So,
Looking at you, Big Mike.
oh man, put on about 15 pounds with Big Mike working here. Every day you come in, you got to have some kebabs or some kind of shepherd's pie or something. So this is a cautionary tale. All right. Good friend of the show.
Like how you refuse to let any dead space for some reason. All of a sudden you're in like, I must be speaking at all times until I find, okay, here's where we are.
Feeling it tonight.
All right, go ahead.
Listen, normally I don't get to kind of take the show helm. A lot of the time
I need this. It's my allergies. Like I'm exhausted. It's a thing. I apologize to everybody. Go.
So it was a big week this week, and we're really spitballing some ideas about how we're going to talk about it overall. But for those listeners that are familiar with Kevin T, which everyone should be, I mean, the man is almost close to a Buddha on the show.
He's almost an honorary member at this point.
Right.
I know you hate when I say things like that, but he's an honorary full-timer. But
he wrapped up and went to court and completed all the paperwork and whatnot that is required for a divorce. So he is now a divorcee.
I don't know how it plays.
It's gonna dirty. Is my guess.
I actually was going by the nickname for a while. Some friends back west were calling me the divorcer, like instead of the Terminator. So that was cool. Maybe we can call Kevin that. He can take a little pride in that. Kind of a tough sounding nickname.
Right.
The divorcer, you know.
But so it got me thinking about, what it lies in his future, right? So what I did find on the interwebs was a situation that just happened last week. I'm sure
a lot of scattered ass is probably what's in his near future. Oh, yeah, I want to get sorry, keep going. This article is great.
So I got this article off Maxim.com. However, you can find it probably anywhere if you just, Google 65,000 texts. When you go to Maxim.com, just recognize that the initial picture that they put up there has nothing to do at all with the article or what's happening.
Smoke show.
So this is really a cautionary tale for individuals like Kevin, maybe some of our single male audience members, about what can happen to you in the dating game. Now, I think I'm assuming that we've discussed it on the show and not just on our carpools, but I find sometimes the lines blur. I find the idea of online dating, be it, the matches or the Plenty of Fishes, or what was the one you did, Christian Singles?
There's Farmer's Daughter, or I'm sorry, Farmer's. There's a Farmer's one.
What's that other one that has
There's
a
Christian
lot of
Mingle.
Grinder, right?
There's
That
Grinder.
one?
There's Bumble. There's Tinder. There's Plenty of Fish.
Right. So I find
Match.com.
I find these fascinating. Oh, Harmony maybe was the one.
Harmony.
He Harmony.
Or no, Me Harmony. He Harmony was the gay version on Saturday Night Live. Sorry.
Okay.
Me Harmony.
The iCloud.
His Harmony.
My iCloud. All right. So anyway, I find it fascinating with all these sites that are available to somebody, right? Because the reality is, for someone like Kevin,
Right.
there could be somebody completely fantastic 3 streets away from his apartment that he doesn't even know exists until he jumps on one of these sites.
Right.
Right? That in and of itself is fascinating to me, because I don't know where I would meet somebody at this point in time if my wife smartened up and said, this guy is foolish and I want nothing to do with him anymore.
I like where you're going with this, and I'm going to go a step ahead with the listeners here. If anybody wants to see Jim
No.
on Plenty of Fish, on Tinder, Bumble, even Grinder, if you're out there, I was going to say send me a message, but
What?
I don't know how
Send
that-
Jason a message via Grinder. He's on there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get one of those apps that gives us a phone number. Go ahead.
Look, I'm going to follow up with this, but this just is a nice little segue to me to inform the listeners of a cute little thing that happened today before I came over here about how much my wife really has no idea what it is we do when I come over here and what this show generally is about.
Well, that makes 2 of us.
Right.
Huh?
Say what? So I found out today that my 2 brother-in-laws.
Can we use names?
No.
Nicknames?
No, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
I do like one of their names. That's why
Nobody knows it. So we'll come back to Kevin T. I'm not going to do the typical don't tell our wives thing where we start talking about something, get completely sidetracked, and then never revisit the original thought. But my 2 brother-in-laws have this thing where they do every year. They go down to Myrtle Beach, like a number of people do, and do a little golfing in the spring. And it's a little mancation that they do with a couple of buddies from back home in the town in which they grew up.
Sounds great.
Right? Sounds awesome. Right? I don't ever get the call to go. I'm only assuming it's because I don't golf, unless there's another reason that I'm unaware of.
Right.
I think that, just for the record, if they did bring me or offer, the trip to me, I could bring something to the table. It may not be a pitch and wedge or something like that, but I think I have other skills that, they could rely on during that weekend. But anyway, I'm not bitter. So I said to my wife, I'm like, how did they do this on Mother's Day weekend?
What?
First and foremost, it amazes me. It's well documented that we've tried to do this mancation, brocation, just a little weekend getaway. We've discussed it, right? This year, in fact, we had the idea of going to an Orlando Magic game against the Celtics in Orlando.
Didn't happen, but
Didn't
it was
happen,
a cool
right?
idea.
Cool idea. Didn't happen, right? I mean, just the other day.
But be fair. Be fair, right? We didn't push for it to happen.
We didn't push for it, but just
your wife never was in the driver's seat.
She had no idea what was happening.
Exactly. So she didn't say
just
absolutely
the other
not.
day, we were driving home, and I said, hey, let's go watch the C's tonight. We'll go grab a Meat Lovers pizza and hang out and watch the game.
Right.
Something that minor, I couldn't even pull the trigger on without.
Well, again, listen, I love keeping score, but I got to keep it both ways here. You couldn't reach her.
That's right.
She was not in a position
She's not
to weigh
available.
in. Right. If you don't bring it to her attention, I can't blame her.
Clearly, I need right.
I love blaming. You know I love placing blame.
Right.
But if I don't have a place to put it, I put it on myself.
Blame it on me, I guess.
Blame it on
But so
the rain.
I said to her, because this is Mother's Day weekend, as we just discussed, and these guys,
Love you, Mom.
They have 2 kids each, and
Ooh.
they're not going to be home on Sunday.
Now, is it possible they did what you just did today, yesterday? You know what I mean? Like work over the yard, get the gifts, give the flowers, take her out, maybe go down, whatever it is they do on Mother's Day.
What? Downtown?
Yeah.
Chinatown?
Just, uptown to the, whatever restaurant she prefers.
Okay. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Perhaps they celebrated Mother's Day last weekend. I don't know the specifics, but what I do know is that they're in Myrtle Beach on Mother's Day weekend. And on Sunday, the 2 sisters, did you text?
I texted my wife I needed a seltz. The beer's already making me feel weird, but it could be my allergies.
So during the show, you texted your wife
Yeah.
to bring you up a delicious seltzer,
Yeah. Is that okay?
and she just came up with that.
Yeah.
You've got
Thank you, Ernie.
half a glass of beer. I don't know.
I do have a Larry here.
That's a little weird. Whatever. I mean, I'm sure.
I'm not going to waste the other bit. Get back to what you're
All
saying.
right, I'm sorry. I'm easily distracted. But anyway, so the idea of just going on this trip in itself, right, blows my mind. Because I would love to be in a situation where I had established an annual trip with a couple of buddies.
It's never going to happen if you don't do it. So let's do it. Just pick a thing, a time of year. Look at the calendar and say, there's no.
Okay, that's besides the point. It would.
Well, no, let's make it the new point. Let's not look behind us.
What?
You haven't established
Pay no attention to the man behind you.
Right. We haven't established anything in the background, in the back. Let's worry about the front. What?
So anyway, the idea of just doing that in itself, going out to Myrtle Beach, right?
Sounds fun.
Sounds awesome. I don't even golf. There's plenty of stuff to do in Myrtle Beach.
I am definitely surprised that I know that technically the day moves around here and there. With them doing something once a year, I don't know if these guys have routine vacation time or if it's easier or what. I am surprised that because this is a trip you plan, you don't do the week before.
Oh, the week after. Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what is surprising is that.
So this is what I said to my wife, right?
But they did ask. That's the
clearly they got permission to do this, right?
Right.
So my sister-in-laws and my mother-in-law are going to go to brunch together with the kids.
Okay.
All right. So they're going to go. They're going to enjoy their.
You're not going?
No, because we have the game.
Oh, that's right. Oh, so she's not going to the game. I thought it was going to be a family thing.
She's coming to the game.
And then after.
Nope. My sister-in-laws, my mother-in-law, and their kids are going to brunch.
Your wife's not part of the brunch.
No, she's part of the family. Don't get that twisted.
Still. Okay.
Despite being married to the guy who doesn't get invited to Myrtle Beach, she's still part of the family.
How about we just call these assholes out for not inviting you? That's really the biggest problem.
Listen, I don't golf. I get it. I've got other intangibles.
Something tells me these guys don't golf that well either.
There's other intangibles that I bring to the game.
100%.
But I'm not going to get into it right now. I'm confident in what I could bring down there to Myrtle Beach. I'm familiar with the area.
Shame on them. It's their loss for not seeing it or experiencing it.
It's well documented. I've spent a lot of money in Myrtle Beach and not have seen, a good return on my investment.
You have?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it. That
Okay.
goes back to a Sunday gym thing. You've already heard the story. Clearly, it didn't resonate.
Back of the bachelor party thing.
No. But anyway,
I'll have to go back into our archives.
I said you should, as should everybody. So I said to my wife, "Hey, I'm thinking about texting your sisters to get a little bit of insight and content for the show tonight." She's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, how did the guys figure out a way? Like, what did they do to be allowed to leave and go to Myrtle Beach on Mother's Day weekend?" So this is where my wife and what this show is where the disconnect lies. She says, well, why does it matter what they did to be able to go down there? Why don't you guys discuss why would you want to do that during a Mother's Day weekend and not be with your family? Because that's not what the listeners are into. What they want to know.
Like I said earlier, that's her podcast, right? That's
right.
You know.
What I want to know is what in the world and how did they convince their wives, and I know both of them very well, to be able to go down to Myrtle Beach on Mother's Day weekend and they were okay with it? Like the Myrtle Beach thing in itself that's cool. And I still don't know how you do that because I don't know how to get a whole weekend like that off. Like where you would spend an exorbitant amount of money to go take a flight, go down, stay at a hotel, eat, drink, hang out. The golf courses aren't cheap, right? Let's assume you and I and whoever went, we had like 4-5 guys go down and we didn't do any of the golfing and we just went to the beach every day. You're still talking about hotel, food and drinks every single day for however many meals you decide to eat. There's still a cost.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Sound like Tony Romo.
Ooh,
yeah.
So this particular case, I personally, it's hard to say definitively because I don't have any kids, but if without kids, I wouldn't pick. Now, we've talked about this before. Easter is not a holiday to me just because of how I was raised.
Sure.
It's a little more of a holiday for my wife's family, so I've had to make a bit of an adjustment. Like I would have went to that Celtics game the night before Easter only because it wasn't, and she did make, the wife did say to me like, well, you will be fine for Easter dinner, right? Like she did kind of give me the concern, like as long as you're home, like, not hungover, reasonable hour so we can get ready and then head over together. Now, and that's fine. I get that.
What were the guys' reaction to that? Now, did that just kind of die? Was it just an idea that died?
So,
or was there actually people that said,
they were going to
go?
They were still going to go. And you know what's funny is I killed it by accident. So I never followed it up. And that Friday, I never heard from anybody. So I was like, I guess this isn't happening. And then it dawned on me a week later, it didn't happen because when I told them that you couldn't go because it was Easter, I never told them I was still going. It was this weird miscommunication where they were like, yeah, I still have the day off. Yeah, I still am planning on going. And then we just never texted again. And so it's probably my fault that we didn't do it. I just kind of like, spaced it, wasn't thinking about it. And then as it got closer, I was like, is that still happening? But I didn't text anything out. And then by that point, we weren't going to, tickets and the whole thing. But
right.
Whatever they're doing, I'm sure they're, I is whatever. But at the end of the day, I've only met one of your brother-in-laws, right?
Yeah, I think you only met one. Yep.
This is tough. I go back and forth with this.
What are you trying to say?
At the end of the day, let's pretend it wasn't for a second. It wasn't Easter.
It's not.
But I'm sorry, Mother's Day.
It's easy to do. It's Mother's Day.
The interesting thing to me, would it make it better if it was Father's Day? Meaning, you do something with your family Friday, an off Friday, and then Friday evening you fly out. You do what you got to do, and now it's a Father's Day trip with other dads. Parking lot that for a second. At the end of the day, if I'm not saying this to you directly, I'm just saying in general, I'm of the belief that, because I had this experience with my first wife. Okay, let's be real here.
So
let's close in on me for a second here. It's not, and she didn't do anything wrong by it, but
she did a lot of things wrong. Don't let her off the hook.
So I find this fascinating. Now you're waking me up here a little bit. I find the fog of my allergies
Good.
is starting to
How many?
dissipate.
What are we? 35 minutes in. Jason's awake.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hello,
everybody. The show
Hello.
just started. It was good talking,
Can
everybody.
we re-rack that intro?
I'll talk to you next episode.
Is the concept, like you said, and I'm listen, I'm just picking on your words for a second here. But to you, like, because that's where you went at first, was how were they allowed to? Right? Like,
Right.
You're thinking, because I do think that, and I was like this in my first marriage more so, where it wasn't enough to be able to do something. I needed the wife. At times, I remember it was like when I was growing up and I was a teenager and I wanted to like have a sleepover or whatever, go to my buddy's house. It was almost as if I didn't even want to ask my mom about it or talk to her about it. I wanted her to just sort of like know and then offer, and so I could say yes. So, because at the end of the day, right, when you like what you said, like how are they allowed to? First, they asked, and when I say asked, in with the asking is, hey, in 4 months, 5, I'm assuming they planned this, right? Like a while back. Hey, it's really important to me. This guy, fucking whoever his name is, Steve, he can only get this weekend off, and the other guy can only get the other, and before you know it, it's August. So,
Right.
If it's,
So they set it up.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
But I don't know too many wives that are going to, at every single turn, just go, oh my God, that's an amazing idea. Of course you should do that. And I do think, though, that like if you don't get that response, some people just shut it down. Okay, not doing it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm that person.
You are. We're gonna get somebody in here. I don't know. We're gonna hypnotize you. Maybe get some sort of Zulu Reiki master.
That'd be cool.
It'll probably end up just being Kevin and somebody he used to date, and hopefully we're gonna put them like on separate ends of the
Rub
couches.
Crystals all over me. Whatever. I mean, if it works, it works. I don't know.
I just think that's when you say let. I don't think you should do something out of spite or turn around and just be like, "Well, I'm doing it anyway." I don't think that's
No, that's
I'm not a big advocate for that.
That's a bad idea.
But I do think that if you have a sit down and somebody has to say, "Hey, this is really important to me," it should give the other person pause. I would hope to go, "Let me think about this.
Right.
Let me see how I feel. Like it's important to that. Let me back off for a day or two, week, whatever."
You know what really strikes me as important is precedent. The idea that this
Careful, because that's a vicious. It gets you into scorekeeping.
It does.
Because let's say you did this 10 years ago.
Right.
And you brought it up to the wife. I don't know that they want to hear that.
No, I get it. I understand what you're saying. But the fact that this has now become a yearly ritual for them
Makes it easier, for sure.
makes it significantly easier.
Now they're doing it on Mother's Day.
Right?
Next thing you know, they're going to do it on Christmas. Yeah. Let's go to Myrtle Beach with these guys on Christmas.
Right?
I'm down.
That sounds awesome. It's going to be a lot nicer there than here.
I love Christmas. I'm not crying. I told myself I wouldn't cry about Christmas.
All right, so I just found it really interesting. I mean, that the whole dynamic of what they have going on. First and foremost, I think we talked about this trip last year around the same time, and we were talking about locations and all that stuff. The fact that it was on Mother's Day this year, I found to be really interesting because to me, that took it to another level.
Why don't we have?
Maybe.
Why don't we have
we get
your sister-in-law come over? No, here's what I mean by that. I'm more interested in her take than his take because I don't want to hear.
It's easy for them.
Well, I just do what I want, dude.
Right.
Like, okay, listen, I get it. That's what you're going to tell me, but I'm more interested in what if she's going to say, yeah, you know what? It wasn't optimal. Maybe, at first I was pissed. Or maybe she goes, you know what? It's cool, whatever. Or maybe she just says whatever.
Right. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just at this point. I'm checked out.
Right. I appreciate the weekend off.
I'm doing that thing where I'm building a narrative in my head, and that's
Generally, I love your narratives.
It's a dangerous thing. So let's get her in here.
All right. So to get back to Kevin T and this cautionary tale,
let's close it up with Kevin T.
Now that he is kind of being re-released into the wild. Again, you can find this article anywhere. I happen to find it on
Just
Maxim.
remind everybody again. So our friend Kevin it was a couple, 2-3 years in the making, but Tuesday, we're recording this on a Friday, so just this past Monday, legally divorced, appeared in court, signed, sealed, delivered. It's official.
Look good, right?
We'll put a picture of Kevin here, ladies.
We should take a picture of him when he was all dressed up and decked out.
We don't need that. I got that cool baby face photo we use when he's on the phone.
All right, I dig it. All right, so
What do you mean?
this article is about. Let me just. Yeah, this is about crazy chicks.
About doing stuff.
Let me read
Not
you the
with
headline.
your wife on
Again,
Mother's Day.
This is Maxim.com. You can find it on Yahoo, USA Today, Newsweek. I saw some of them on there. So, woman arrested for sending a man she met online 65,000 texts after just one date.
Okay, real quick. You're going to go through this whole thing.
Right.
I forgot to ask you this before. Was there a time frame established for that many texts? Because at first I thought that was like one night. And I'm like, that's impossible. So she went on a date, but did she stalk him for months and months?
So essentially she sent him approximately 500 texts per day. Right?
Hold on. I'm going to look that up on my AIDS phone right now.
Oh, hey, you get the red iPhone. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
We don't like AIDS on the Don't Tell Our Wives podcast. But if you have it,
130
we're not going to
days.
shame you.
It's 130 days. It's almost 6 months. Wow. Keep going.
All right.
I love this, broad.
I'm going to kind of read
That's
this.
just true love.
Right. I'm going to kind of read this verbatim, so you'll please excuse me, but I think it's important. After months of pursuing the man, Jacqueline, now the last name is Ades. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you want me to say this. I'm going to say 80s.
Nope. Say it the way you want to say it.
AIDS.
That's
All
right.
All right. I'm going to call her Jacqueline Ades.
It's a real issue.
All right.
Don't sweep it under the rug.
After months of pursuing the man, Jacqueline Ades was arrested this week on charges of threatening, intimidating, stalking, and harassment. Police say she repeatedly visited the man's home, sent him as many as 500 text messages a day, and threatened to kill him. So it gets dark.
I'm okay with this so
It does
far.
get dark. Now,
fucking kill you.
because this is on the interwebs, I feel comfortable go ahead and showing you this photo. I don't know where
It's
to
not
hold
good.
this.
Yeah, hold it closer to you. There you go. There you go. She's not a smoke show.
No, she got those crazy eyes.
Well, she's got the, let me give it to my microphone here. She's got the, like, slightly, and by slightly, I mean very much so, two-shaped eyebrow game, where it looks like the Batman mask, the Adam West Batman.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm going to definitely throw a photo of the Adam West Batman up here.
That's an accurate description. So the trouble began last summer when the man called police on AIDS. I don't think that's how you say it, but anyway.
911, what is your emergency?
I
got a problem with AIDS.
I don't want to do that same thing that we did last week. All right. So my headphones came out of the thing because I don't have a lot of room to work with. But after months of pursuing the man, Ades was arrested this week on charges of threatening, intimidating, stalking, and harassment. Police say she repeatedly visited the man's home, sent as many as 500 text messages a day, and threatened to kill him. The trouble began last summer when the man called police on Ades, who was found parked outside of his home. He called again in December and a third time in April. I'm good, thank you. When he was out of the country, the man told police that he saw Ades in his.
What the hell?
It's not her name.
It is her name, dude. It's just an alternate spelling.
I don't think it is. It's so hard to say it though. The man told police that he saw.
Take it easy, dude. What's the problem?
I don't know. I get the giggles. That he saw Ades in his house on surveillance camera, and when the cops arrived, they saw her too. She was in the tub. So this wasn't a surveillance camera that this guy had outside to watch the paper boy drop the paper off.
Right, he
Or
had
the
cameras in his
mailman
house.
right, this was in his house.
Which begs the question, what's this guy up to? Maybe that's a different... we go down a different road
that's
there.
another path. But she's in his tub
I'm
taking a
assuming...
bath.
That's what I was going to say, assuming bathing, huh?
I'm assuming, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's just sitting in there, but
Now, if this chick's a knockout, does he put up with this? I say short answer, gun to my head, absolutely. If she's a 9.75
maybe,
on the Dichter scale,
maybe.
he's definitely... That was,
Yeah,
that was
because-
you know what? I apologize for that. That was low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, but you nailed it, so it's cool.
We don't have any such scale. We're married dudes. 50% of us have kids. It's we don't talk like that anymore.
Whatever, it's all right. We'll allow it.
But when we go to Myrtle Beach, we're gonna fucking rage. Maybe Thanksgiving will be a nice holiday for you to ease that in.
That's right. Yeah. Well, hey, babe.
We were gonna do it on Christmas, but I
Right.
thought,
thought this might be a little bit better.
I'd
you know?
rather be with my family on Christmas. So instead, we're taking Thanksgiving on rage.
It's like a whole Thanksgiving, Veteran Day, 2-week fucking hiatus. Ooh,
What?
can you say that?
Well, you just did. Let's go.
Damn it.
Show the video. Well, it's not going to translate to it. You can do the audio.
I'll do the audio in a moment. So police took her after finding her in his tub in his house while he's out of the country.
She better be in there cleaning it.
It's kind of reset. Police took her into custody. After she was released, Ades started getting more violent in her text, right? Because now she's a little angry.
Of course, I could assume.
According
right?
to the court documents, among the 65,000 text messages sent were ones that said, "Don't ever try to leave me. I'll kill you. I don't want to be a murderer. Oh, what would I do with your blood? I'd want to bathe in it."
This is very Wayne's World,
Right.
right? You know, Wayne, someday you're going to lose me. Broke up with you 6 months ago.
This is my favorite part. Despite only going on one date, Ades admitted that she was stalking the man because she loved him and didn't want to lose him. She also said she knew her statements were crazy. So she recognizes she's a little silly.
To a man on this show, do we think they had sex in that first day? I say yes.
Well, based on what she's doing, I'd have to assume yes.
Right. She got a taste of the magic stick. And for her, that means this thing is real.
Right.
She obviously, right, suffers from some form of mental.
Yeah, no, she's all right.
Affliction.
So what I'm about to play right now is direct off Twitter from 12 News, and I'm assuming in Arizona at some point, some area. 'Cause
Arizona?
it's Arizona, Soaker.
There's 2 R's in Arizona. You must have been dynamite in a fucking spelling bee.
Yeah.
All right, throw it up to the mic. I want to hear it in my headphones.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the picture.
Throw it up to the mic.
All right, stand by. All right, so this is Jacqueline Ades. I don't like that. Jacqueline Ades.
Nope, can't change it now because I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay. But this is her interview from jail as she's asked some questions about what she's done. So stand by for this.
Angry with him? No. Oh my God, no, I love him so much. I just want to love him so much, that's it. And if he doesn't like it, then I'll go home and I'll love my ex-boyfriend. What am I supposed to do? The point of love is to keep giving it. That's the math equation. It's love equals 3.3, which is infinity, times E equals MC squared, which is light. Light is forever. L equals 3. L, if love was a number, it would be 3. So it's infinity times light, which is also infinity. So it's just forward, forever forward. And if you're selfish, you can't understand that because you want something in return. He's not giving me anything in return, and I still love him anyway. That's what love is. That's what the universe is supposed to be made out of.
Wow.
I agree.
I didn't hear that whole thing. I agree. This episode of Don't Tell Her Why is brought to you by Kevin T's next ex-wife.
Right?
Thank you.
Life is infinity. Love is infinity.
Yeah, just multiply it by 3.3 forever, dude.
Love is 3.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's talking
Apparently,
about.
love is 3 inches, and she got it in day
Right.
1, and that's what's happening.
Or
here.
she's saying love's a threesome, and I'm into it. I don't know what she's saying, but She sounds like a crazy
I'm
person.
just going to sneak into your house and take a fat dump in your tub and wait for you to come home. I wish that's what she was doing in the tub.
I know. But isn't there a level of like crystal rubbing kind of situation going on here? But anyway, I don't know. All I'm saying is that this should be a cautionary tale for those of you that are out there dating, right? This was one date.
Abso-friggin-lutely.
One date. So think twice about that person that you take
Here's
to the
why
Olive Garden.
I wish we had Kevin on. This is why. What you just played for the audience, I almost want you to play it again, but they can go back and listen.
Sure. Rewind it.
They can do that.
It's technology.
They can even pause, get a sandwich, come back. This is why when you're fresh out of a divorce, when you're hot on the heels of the ink drying or beginning to dry, okay? And you're really starting a date, which you probably were during the separation, but I'm talking about you're really putting it out there, okay? You're putting your brand out there. When you're doing this is why I get on certain people, Kevin T, sometimes other, because it's from personal experience. I don't want to see this shit happen to anybody. But when you are out there and you're kind of like, if you've been in a relationship for a long time, and anybody who has knows this, if they become single, it seems really cool to be single. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Oh, yeah, just, shushing a girl. Oh, get out of the bed in the morning. Every morning a different woman. It's not like that.
I'm sorry, shushing a girl?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like getting her, dismissing her or whatever.
Shush.
The point is, that's not every day. And no matter what anybody tells you, at some point in their mind when they're going through a shitty relationship, they think to themselves like, oh, man, I could be doing this what this other guy's doing. But what you don't see is the downtime, the time when you're alone. You got to entertain yourself. You're twiddling your thumbs. Your buddies can't go out. You don't want to go out by yourself because that's just weird. And you're like, okay, well, I could throw the game on or play a little Xbox. But, oh, yeah, well, you know what? I know Sheila will come over and I could have sex with her. So let's just do that. That's fun because I kind of like having sex with her.
Who's coming over?
Sheila. I just gave her, maybe that's her name now.
We'll just call her Ades. Sheila Ades.
Right. So what I started to get to master, I felt like before I met my current wife, is knowing when like to do that for if you knew somebody wasn't like a next tier, next level operator, if you go on a date and you're not dying to see him a second time, okay, there's a message. You go on 5 dates, you've already had sex a couple times, and you're thinking to yourself, ooh, yeah, you already know the answer. If there is any doubt, there is no doubt. Get the hell out of there. But you extend it sometimes. But some guys I know will sit there and do that for 6 months until something better comes along. And that's when you get this broad showing up in your bathtub, taking a shit, and ended up with the cops arresting her.
It didn't even take that long, dude.
3.33 times infinity times love times my boner equals love forever.
This was
I don't understand.
one date. This was one date. This was you.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't know. Like every
Right.
woman has the potential to be this woman. Yes, for her, it happened after one day. But if you screw over any woman long enough, she will turn into this woman.
I don't disagree with that statement at all.
This is what the show's about.
Right. This
Crushing seltzers, providing a service.
this crazy switch for this individual just happened to be not as deep down from the surface as it is on other women. That's all.
Can you see what I'm doing?
What do you do?
Can you see what I'm doing? See, that's me flicking the switch.
What?
That's the crazy switch. I'm flicking it.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's cool. All right. I like
Flicked. Where's that music?
I don't know. So just be careful. I mean, for the love of God, be careful out there. It's a crazy world.
You don't want to end up with AIDS. And I think that story proves it, right?
Right. No.
65,000 text messages later. Let's hope he had unlimited data.
Jeez.
Kidding me?
Right?
Now she owes him $11,000 for phone bills.
I want to bathe in your blood. Because I'm really into it.
She's watching way too many movies, too. Way too much HBO with that shit.
Yeah. She's totally into Twilight and stuff like that.
All right, that's all I got. I will tease this because I'm definitely going to talk about this next episode, I promise. You ready for this?
Okay.
Leaving Facebook.
That's
we'll
a
get
big
into
thing.
the why, what my thought process
Well, it's
is.
not just leaving Facebook for you. I mean, this is a lifestyle that you're jumping into.
Yes, we can get into that, but I maybe bite-sized morsels, right?
Yeah. Right.
All right, that's
Lots of new friends, weird
What?
dudes coming in and out of the house.
What's this guy doing in my bed? That's cool. We're minimalists. It's cool.